DQ live recap of Monday Night Raw for March the 15th, 2021. We have WWE Fastlane this coming Sunday, although not much effort put into a Fastlane card. It's more about WrestleMania. This episode of Raw definitely felt like more of a build-up towards WrestleMania than the actual Fastlane pay-per-view, which is this Sunday. But anyways, we'll talk about Raw. A lot of things did happen on this show, so let's get right to it. Shout out to the chat room watching this live. I appreciate it, and your contributions in the chat room. And thank you to everybody watching this on demand as well. Let's get started. We kicked off with a promo from Bobby Lashley and MVP, and right off the bat, it was announced, WrestleMania, it will be Bobby Lashley defending the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. I was a little surprised by this because I thought, well, why not have McIntyre put his title shot on the line at Fastlane against Sheamus, or do something to keep us guessing that maybe something else might happen instead of just saying, oh, it's McIntyre versus Lashley and McIntyre is still facing Sheamus at Fastlane, but like, what's the point now? Jose Garza says Fastlane should be skipped, should have never been made. Yeah, well, I think the idea of Fastlane is it's the first pay-per-view on Peacock. It will be on the WWE Network and Peacock, and I think it's a way for WWE to test the waters on Peacock by having Fastlane take place before WrestleMania, just to work out any kinks that they might have and that sort of thing. So anyways, Lashley talked for a bit. It's the almighty era, and said he's going to destroy Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania just like he did at Elimination Chamber, and he will destroy anybody else on Raw. Miz interrupted and said that he's not there to steal Lashley's spotlight. He's all in on the almighty era, but he feels like the rivalry between himself and Lashley, it's just getting started. It can be like Austin versus The Rock. And he said, if you agree with him, give me a hell yeah. And Morrison was there with him, said, oh, hell yeah. And Miz once again brought up how he was not 100% when he lost the championship to Lashley. And we then had Drew McIntyre interrupt. McIntyre got into the ring, talked to Lashley, said that they've had similar runs. They both had their first runs in WWE and then left the company, had to scratch and claw their way back to the top. And there is one difference between them, according to McIntyre. McIntyre said that he won the Royal Rumble, beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes at WrestleMania. Lashley had to strike a deal with The Miz and screw over McIntyre to win the title. Miz got on the apron, and McIntyre was advising Miz to go to the back or get hurt. And McIntyre said he'll beat The Miz, and then he'll beat Sheamus at Fastlane, and then he will beat that big, bald son of a bitch, Lashley. At this point, Lashley, he did not like being called a big, bald son of a bitch, so he attacked McIntyre, and then Miz, like a vulture, took advantage, continued to attack McIntyre after Lashley left the ring, and that set up a match between The Miz and Drew McIntyre. But before that, we had Sheamus attacking Lashley on the stage, and then backstage Sheamus said he's going to beat Lashley in the main event of Raw and then go on to Elimination Chamber and beat up Drew McIntyre. He wants Drew McIntyre at 100%, no more excuses, and then he'll go on to be the one to beat Bobby Lashley. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat, going a little bit off topic here because we're not at it yet, so hashtag stick to the topic. He says, is Raw on Nickelodeon? I feel so bad for Braun Strowman. we're going to talk about it. Hence, stick to the topic. So thank you for the super chat, Psycho Jet Black, but you got to wait just a little bit. I know you're really dying to know my thoughts on that segment, but I promise you we will get to it. So we had McIntyre versus The Miz. Morrison was doing the usual interfering. He grabbed McIntyre's foot, and then he took his sunglasses and threw them in the ring. McIntyre stepped on the glasses, and Miz took advantage of the situation, but it did not last long. Morrison then saved Miz from a Claymore. However, at this point, the referee was like, enough is enough, and he had Morrison kicked out of the building, and then McIntyre hit the Claymore on Miz, but instead of going for the cover, he put on the Hurt Lock. Add insult to injury, taking a shot at Lashley, using Lashley's own Hurt Lock maneuver, and picked up the victory. No surprise here. Match was fine. We had Braun Strowman come to the ring and call out Shane, and Shane came down. Strowman said he's been bullied his whole life by people like Shane, and Shane said he's disgusted by Strowman making that kind of accusation, saying that he would never make fun of another man. Strowman, however, did not buy it and said that Shane McMahon is scared to fight him, and that's why Shane was fumbling his words last week. Nice little reference to that. And then basically, Strowman challenged Shane to a match, not at WrestleMania, but right here on Monday Night Raw. And Shane said now he knows that Braun Strowman is stupid to actually challenge him to a match. And Shane did accept the challenge. So there you go. And we'll talk about Shane and Strowman here in just a few minutes. We had R-Truth backstage, dressed up like Steve Austin because it was 316 week, although not actually 316 day. Today's the 15th of March, and Dana Brooke had to let R-Truth know. I mean, it's 316 week, so I actually think R-Truth is okay doing the 316 gimmick on 316 week. And we had a tag team match, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke against Naomi and Lana. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler were on commentary. Asuka made her return after being gone for 3 weeks. Remember she got her tooth knocked out by Nia Jax, or not Nia Jax. See, I think of Nia Jax because of all the people that Nia hurt, but it was actually Shayna Baszler that kicked Asuka in the face and knocked out her tooth. So Asuka came back, and Shayna got off a commentary and tried to attack Asuka, but was unsuccessful. Asuka nailed Shayna with a kick, and officials had to separate them. Meanwhile, back in the ring, Mandy Rose attempted a roll-up, but that did not work. However, Dana Brooke was able to tag in, hit the spinning neck breaker, and pinned Lana to, I guess, set up another match with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke against the tag team champions. And who knows, it might not be Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, so we'll have to see what happens with that. The one and only Caleb Jacobs with a $2.04 super chat. Thank you, Caleb. Says, The Miz is now a transitional champion 8 days. That is true. Miz was, in fact, a transitional champion. And thank you for that, Caleb. Jose Garza says, Asuka has the Roman Reigns' teeth treatment now. Yeah, pretty much. We have a segment here with Matt Riddle backstage wishing the New Day luck in their tag team titles match against the Hurt Business. And they wished Riddle luck in his match against Ali for the U.S. title. And Riddle said maybe after they all win their matches, they could have some pancakes, all-you-can-eat pancakes, and maybe get some matching tattoos. New Day, they were cool with the pancakes, but not so much the tattoos. Then See, I'm starting to think of Riddle and Truth as the same person now because they're both so goofy. Riddle said maybe they could have some matching scooters to ride around and ride off into the sunset. We then had a tag team titles match. Hurt Business, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander defending against Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Heels took out Xavier, knocked him off the apron, threw him into the steel steps. They worked over Kofi for a while. Xavier was eventually able to tag himself in, but then he got beat up for a while. Kofi tagged back in and hit the SOS for a near fall. He went for the tip, the Trouble in Paradise, but he missed. And then he managed to get it on the second attempt. And then we had New Day hit the Daybreak, 1, 2, 3, winning the tag team titles for a record 11th time. So they've actually surpassed the Dudley Boys now for the most tag team title reigns from one duo in WWE history. No shock here. With WrestleMania coming up, I figured the real stars would get the tag team titles. With all due respect to Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, you know, they were getting that rub off of MVP, but let's be real here. New Day, Kofi, and Xavier, they're the real stars in the tag division, so they get the tag team titles back in time for WrestleMania. I'm a little surprised WWE did not save this for Fastlane, but again, Fastlane is kind of just an afterthought. And Elon Brown says, where would you rank the New Day as greatest tag team? Got to be way up there towards the top. I mean, top 5 for sure at this point as far as WWE tag teams go. And when it's all said and done, I think you can make a fair argument for them being the best of all time. The BOAT. I should just say GOAT, not BOAT, because I think BOAT is pretty lame, with all due respect to Natalya. And after the match was over, we had a surprise appearance from AJ Styles and Omos. They came to the ring, and basically Styles said that he is not a Grand Slam champion. He has never won the tag team title. So therefore, him and Omos are challenging the New Day for the tag team titles at WrestleMania, despite the fact that AJ and Omos have not been a team. Omos has not even had a match in WWE. However, New Day, despite this, they accepted the match. So at WrestleMania, we're going to have Kofi and Xavier Woods defending their titles against AJ Styles and Omos. Yeah. I guess there's a lot of intrigue about Omos, and we'll be able to see what he can do at WrestleMania. My guess is AJ Styles will do most of the work. Omos will tag in, do the big man moves, and even if he wrestles like Great Khali, I guess you could protect him and he'll look decent enough in that match. Still, I'm a little surprised by this. I guess, you know, at least it gives AJ Styles something to do, and he can try to win his Grand Slam title by winning the tag titles. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, can Omos even take bumps? I would hope so. I would hope with the training at the Performance Center, he can do something. But yeah, it's kind of weird that he hasn't done anything. Not even been in the ring for a match. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. Maybe he's got some moves that we're not aware of, and he'll outshine everybody. He'll exceed expectations. I don't think he's going to outshine anybody, but maybe he'll at least exceed the expectations. And yes, to answer Robbie Vice, he was the giant ninja back in those skits with the Tozawa and R-Truth and all that stuff. We had a backstage segment with Damian Priest making fun of The Miz for losing to Bobby Lashley. Miz got offended and said that he main evented WrestleMania. What has Priest ever done? And Priest was like, well, yeah, you do have a good point. Priest said maybe he could start proving himself by starting off with The Miz. And then at this point, Miz and Morrison took off. R-Truth showed up. He tried to sneak attack Bad Bunny, but of course, Damian Priest clearly saw this coming. And R-Truth had a bunch of Steve Austin merchandise. He offered a lunchbox, a replica title, a doll. He handed that over to Bad Bunny and asked in exchange if he could have his baby back, his 24/7 championship. Bad Bunny, he's a good guy. He's got his Grammy now, so he was gave the 24/7 title back to R-Truth, who was so happy to have his baby back. And yeah, I mean, under normal circumstances, I would complain about a title being given away, but it's the 24/7 title. Who cares at this point? Whatever. You had to get it off of Bad Bunny anyways, and better for him to just give it back than to lose via a roll-up. So I'm okay with it. There was an announcement, by the way, that WrestleMania tickets will not be going on sale on 3/16 day as originally announced. Apparently, WWE will be working out some additional ticket details. People can speculate on that as to what that means. There's been talk that WWE wants to have 45,000 people per night at WrestleMania. There you go. That's how you get to 90,000 fans for WrestleMania. You have 45,000 people each night. And there's also news that apparently Dana White is determined to have the next UFC pay-per-view in April have a full crowd in Jacksonville, Florida at the Memorial Arena there. So we'll see how that works. And maybe Vince is thinking, well, you know what? Things are opening up. Let's get as many people in there as we can, damn it. Although not the best timing right now because there was apparently another NXT COVID breakout and WWE has to change plans for NXT this week. Yet they're going to try to get 45,000 people in the stadium for WrestleMania. By the way, no date announced for the WrestleMania tickets, so stay tuned. As soon as I know something, you guys will know something as well. All right, we had Jaxson Ryker versus Damian Priest, and this was a squash match. Literally, Priest hit the broken arrow, and then hit the lights. 1, 2, 3, that was it for Ryker. Next round of cuts. Would not shock me if Ryker is on that list. After the match was over, was the main body of meat in this segment, because we had Elias attacking Damian Priest after the match, and Elias went for his guitar. However, Bad Bunny took the guitar from Elias. Elias tried to body slam Bad Bunny. Bunny slipped out and punched Elias, and then Priest hit the lights on Elias. Then we had John Morrison walk down and provided a distraction while The Miz got in the ring and hit Bad Bunny in the back with a guitar. So there you go. We got the setup now for WrestleMania. Miz and Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. I gotta say that guitar shot was pretty weak though, and it looked like Bad Bunny had a little bit of a delayed reaction to it, but whatever. TGS says, where's Keith Lee? Don't know. If there's something going on with him, nobody's commenting on it. Could be any number of things, but not going to speculate on it. He'll be back when he's able to come back. We had a little backstage promo from MVP and Bobby Lashley. MVP said what happens to Sheamus in the main event is what is going to happen to McIntyre at WrestleMania. We then had Shane McMahon in the ring for his match with Braun Strowman. Strowman came down, and you guys have been waiting for me to talk about this one. Shane McMahon said he needed to warm up. He did some hopscotch. He actually had a hopscotch layout on the ground. Strowman had enough of this crap. He chased after Shane, and he caught Shane. He beat the crap out of Shane for a bit, but then Strowman ran around for the Strowman Express, and Shane grabbed a camera from the cameraman, used the camera on Strowman repeatedly, several times hitting Strowman with the camera, and then laid out Strowman on the announce table. Shane climbed to the top and hit his flying elbow off the top through the table. But that's not all, folks. I thought this would have been fine. If they just ended it with this, I'd be like, okay, nice build up here for this match that I still don't really care about seeing, but it's good. It's solid. Then we had Shane McMahon pull a couple of buckets from under the ring. WWE has a lot of odd things under the ring, but why were there buckets of green slime under the ring? I don't know, to quote Lex Luger. But they were there, and Shane, he poured the buckets of slime onto Braun Strowman. Yeah. This was something else. Nickelodeon slime. Like, I know WWE has done crossover stuff with Nickelodeon before, but yeah, this is how you build up Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman with slime from Nickelodeon. Who knows what's going on with this? Now, WWE did announce an actual match with these guys. However, it will not be at WrestleMania. At least, it hasn't been announced for WrestleMania yet. There will be a match at Fastlane between Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman. And I guess we'll see if there's some kind of shenanigans at Fastlane, which leads to a WrestleMania rematch. Would not shock me. Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat says, does WWE think this would get Strowman over? I think it's just Vince McMahon 101. You know, going back to when King Corbin used the dog food on Roman Reigns to get heat. I think it's the same mentality. Shane McMahon trying to humiliate Strowman by pouring the green slime on him. You know, that's Vince's way of thinking, you know, this is how the fans will feel sympathetic to Strowman. I mean, I guess it worked with the kids back in that angle with King Corbin and Roman Reigns. The kids really liked it. And then when Reigns fed the dog food to Strowman, all the kids were enjoying that. Maybe the same thing will happen here and Shane will get green slime poured on him and all the kids will eat it up. Who knows? But yeah, this isn't exactly the thing that's going to win over the 18 to 49-year-olds as far as I'm concerned. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong on that. We had Alexa Bliss swinging around backstage, and she basically challenged Randy Orton to a match, I guess. She just said that at Sunday at Fastlane, she's going to give Orton a chance to get her out of his life. And I guess on Sunday, we're going to get the Fiend, maybe? I'm thinking there's not going to be a match here. It's just going to be some kind of confrontation, and then the Fiend shows up. We had Asuka versus Shayna Baszler, and Asuka was just pure fire in this match. She was determined to get some serious payback on Shayna Baszler. Shayna, before the match, said that she purposely meant to knock out Asuka's teeth. She enjoyed it. She's going to do it again. But before the match could even get going, Asuka attacked both Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Shayna did manage to get the upper hand for a while. She kicked Asuka in the face, which, if I was a wrestler, I'd be a little scared of that. But that just goes to show how tough Asuka is. After getting her tooth knocked out, she's like, well, you know what? Show must go on. Accidents happen. Go ahead and kick me in the face again. So after a while, Shayna attempted to put on the Kira Fuda clutch, but Asuka countered it into a pinfall and scored the victory over Shayna Baszler. Shayna attempted to attack Asuka after the match, but Asuka got the upper hand. Asuka stomped, did like the Super Dragon curb stomp, not the Seth Rollins one. Stomped Shayna into the corner turnbuckle. Then Asuka took off the turnbuckle padding to expose it and was going to give another stomp into the exposed turnbuckle pad. However, the referee stopped her, and Asuka just celebrated. She cooled down a little bit, and there you go. Asuka's back, and looks like she'll be defending her championship at WrestleMania. Will it be against Charlotte Flair, who has a movie role in a reboot of Walking Tall, by the way? Head over to NoDQ.com for more info on that. No Charlotte on this show, but one would think it's going to be Asuka versus Charlotte at WrestleMania. Nice little rebound here for Asuka after what happened a few weeks ago. Backstage, Ali cut a promo, said he's going to right the wrongs from Retribution by beating Matt Riddle and winning the U.S. title. Ali was talking, and Riddle just zoomed by on his stallion, his scooter. We had the match. Ali got the upper hand for a while. He hit a swinging neck breaker off the apron to the outside. But then when Ali was actually getting Riddle in a pinning predicament, we had T-Bar get on the apron and inadvertently caused the referee to be distracted in favor of Riddle, as Riddle was being pinned by Ali. And then Riddle was able to come back and hit the Bro Derek. So once again, damn you, T-Bar, you screwed it up for Ali. And this seemingly never-ending storyline with Ali being annoyed with Retribution continues. Jose Garza says Ali has 4 people at ringside and still loses. Stupid. Elon Brown says Retribution's days together are numbered. Yeah, every time we think that, it just keeps going on like the Energizer Bunny. We had Randy Orton backstage accepting the challenge to, I guess, face Asuka or Alexa Bliss in some kind of match or whatever. He is going to literally kick Alexa out of his life. But yeah, thinking we're going to see the Fiend on Sunday. Would be shocked if we don't see the Fiend. We then had our main event of the evening, which was Bobby Lashley, the WWE Champion, versus Sheamus. But before the match, Drew McIntyre came to the ring and talked about how he's got his own guarantee for Sunday. Him and Sheamus are going to beat the hell out of each other, but he will take out Sheamus, and he's going to watch the match between Lashley and Sheamus, which he did. He sat there at ringside. Lashley dominated early. They fought on the outside for a while. Sheamus made a comeback. Sheamus then got suplexed on the floor, giving Lashley the advantage, and Lashley had a little stare-off with McIntyre before the commercial. After the commercial, Lashley went shoulder first into the post, and then at this point, it was back and forth for a while. However, when Sheamus went for the bro kick, Lashley countered it with a spear, picked up the 1-2-3 victory, and then after the match, Drew McIntyre got in the ring, hit the Claymore to Lashley, and then had a little bit of a face-off with Sheamus. Interesting. I mean, on one hand, I like the fact that Lashley's picking up another win as champion, continue to build him up, but I gotta say, this did not make me really care to see Sheamus versus McIntyre at WrestleMania, just because Sheamus got beat clean with a spear. And McIntyre already beat Sheamus, so why do I think Sheamus has any chance of winning this? Like, there's nothing to make me think that Sheamus can win this match. In which case, why even do the match? It's filler, but and the match will be really good too. I just wish it was built up a different way. Like, I would not have had Sheamus lose to Lashley. I would not have even booked the match, quite frankly. I think I would have done something else, and then maybe had McIntyre put his title shot on the line or something to make you want to see the match and think maybe, even if it's a small chance, maybe McIntyre doesn't make it to WrestleMania. But yeah, I mean, I suppose it's possible Sheamus could beat him at Fastlane, but we'll talk about that when we do the predictions video. Thomas Farmer with a $2 super chat says, so no Kofi Kingston versus Retribution this year. Yeah, and honestly, I wasn't even interested in that match. I know some people thought, it might be a nice idea because of the whole storyline with Kofi Mania overshadowing Ali after Ali got injured, but Retribution and Ali, they've been tarnished so bad that I don't even care about seeing any of the Retribution guys. And I hate to say that because I like all of them, but yeah, they're dead. They've been dead. This faction should have ended 6 months ago. And Ali, it could have been something special, but it's been a bust. So overall, Raw was an interesting show. I mean, there were some things that happened. It was a noteworthy show. As far as Fastlane buildup goes, it was pretty piss poor. As far as WrestleMania buildup goes, it was fairly decent. So I'm going to give this show a B-. Not a bad Raw, pretty solid. But yeah, WrestleMania buildup was way better than the Fastlane buildup. And that's pretty much the sum of it. Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat says Ali should go to SmackDown and join Seth Rollins. I'm not even sure what you do with Ali at this point. Like, is there anything that could really save him? I don't know. I think Retribution was his last chance to be relevant, and now it's gone. That opportunity is gone. Michael Wayne and the Game is on 100 give it a C+, as does Kim Hall and MVP Kev. Dr. NXT Scorpio says C show was mostly boring. Jose Garza gives it a B, and Matt Helms gives it a B-, and Mr. Heavy Metal Hero Dude also gives it a B-. TJS gives it a C, and Elon Brown gives it a D. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope you enjoyed the Raw recap. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. This week, a lot of content coming up. Predictions for Fastlane, all 4 matches that we got announced. Maybe they'll announce a 5th match on SmackDown, who knows. And of course, NoDQ review and the other recaps coming up. And then of course, Sunday after the pay-per-view, I will be doing a live stream recapping Fastlane. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Subscribe, tell a friend, spread the word, and I will see you guys